Okay, so in this training, what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to break down exactly what it is you need to do to get to 10K months in your online fitness coaching business. So this is a longer training, and I'm going to go into a ton of detail and just literally show you exactly what it is you need to be focused on. I'm going to break down for you exactly what it is I help my clients do and how it is that I help them build 10K plus businesses. And so for those of you who don't know me, by the way, a little bit of context. My name is Tell. I'm the owner of Content and Clients. And over the last 3 years, we've helped more than 150 online fitness coaches grow and scale their online fitness businesses. And so this is something that is very tried and true. We've done this process many, many times. My backstory is I was an online fitness coach, got started back in 2016, dropped out of college, and got into the online world. I was not an instant success. It was something that took me a while to actually figure out. I had to go through a lot of different coaching programs, a lot of trial and error, a lot of figuring things out. I've built a gym. I've done all of those things, and now I've been able to help other fitness coaches, probably a lot like yourself, learn and do all the things that we do. So with that being said, hopefully you find this to be valuable. Like I said, this is a longer one, but this is literally step by step what it is you need to do, where it is you need to be putting your focus. This is a guide for anyone who is trying to get to 10K months and beyond. So with that being said, hope you enjoy this. Let's go ahead and hop into it. All right, so let's just go ahead and hop into this. So the very first thing that I want to talk about is focus. All right, this is going to be the very first thing we need to talk about. It's the most important. If your focus is off, and when I'm talking about focus, I'm not necessarily talking about like, hey, productivity, sitting down at your desk, getting laser focused, getting stuff done. That is super important, right? Productivity is super important. Being able to focus, get your tasks done, day-to-day, things like that, very important. What I'm talking about, though, specifically when I'm talking about focus here, is what is it that you should actually be putting time, energy, and effort into? What is worth doing and what is not worth doing? Because when you wake up every single day, there's a million different things you could do. You could log on, you could create content, you could send DMs, you could go build a website, you could focus on building a logo, you could go you could go build more programs, more resources. Like there's so many different things that you could do. So what is it that you should actually be focused on? How should you spend your time? So if you are trying to get to 10K months, there are really 3 things that you need to be putting all of your time, energy, and effort into at this point. All right. So the very first thing is, the most obvious is getting clients. So if you're under 10K months and you want to get to 10K months, well, the obvious part there is we need clients. We need more revenue coming in. We need more leads being generated. We need more sales calls. We just need more people inside of the program. So that's a very obvious first piece, right? The other side of getting to 10K months is client results. So it's not just enough to sign clients. We also have to be getting people results on the back end of that. So there's, a lot of people are caught on kind of this roller coaster of client signing and client acquisition where they're signing clients, and that's taking, 95% of their time. And then only a little bit of time and effort gets spent on the clients. And what it ends up creating, and the thing that will hold so many people back from growing their business is, they land the clients, they bring them in. Maybe the client goes through, let's say, like a 12-week program, but then they just don't sign back up. And so client results aren't the best. Client retention is not the best. And so there's kind of this hamster wheel of like, cool, you sign some clients, but then clients leave. You sign some clients, then clients leave. And you can grow like this for a little bit up to a certain point. But then eventually it begins to catch up with you. And, every single month, the amount of clients that are leaving kind of just matches the amount of clients that are coming in. And so you hit a plateau. So the first 2 things here is, you have to get clients and then you also have to get client results. Now, the third thing that we need to be focused on if we're trying to get to 10K months is personal growth. And so what I'm talking about with personal growth is, you as a business owner, if you were under 10K months, you as a business owner need to grow. You as a coach, you need to grow. And so all of this stuff kind of feeds into itself. All right. So let me kind of break this down for you. So in order to be a good coach, you need to be focused on getting client results. And so, getting client results, the more people you coach, the more you grow, the more you learn, the more clients you land, the more you grow in your skills of like sales and lead gen and marketing and content creation. And so there's kind of this feedback loop where all of this stuff kind of just like feeds into itself. You get more clients, you get clients' results, which leads to more clients, which leads to you better understanding how to coach your clients, which leads to you take more sales calls, so you get better at sales calls. The first two things here that are really important is that the two main focuses is really like getting clients and getting client results. But then along that journey, you are trying to grow as a business owner, as a coach, and getting better at getting clients and getting better at getting client results. Now, one of the biggest pitfalls that I see when it comes to this specific conversation right here is a coach will, join a mentorship or a program, or, they'll buy an e-course, or they'll watch YouTube videos just like this, right? They'll listen to podcasts, they'll consume, they'll follow all of the gurus, all of the information out there. And the pitfall that I see is they just focus on the personal growth bit. All right, so they're focused on the personal growth bit, and what that really, how that really actually looks is they just become consumers, and so they consume and they consume and they consume and they consume. They sit in all of these Facebook groups and they ask everybody for every single free resource they're giving away. They're scrolling the timeline. They're opting in for every single ad to get access to every single person's free resources and video sales letters, and they're just going through all of the content out there, and they spend all of their time just consuming and consuming and consuming. And this is not how you grow, right? These are the people that you can talk to them 6 months later, they're still in the exact same place. You can talk to them a year later, they're still in the exact same place. And the thing is to them, they feel like they're making progress. They feel like they're making progress because they're using a bunch of mental energy. Every single day when they're waking up and they're going to bed, they're like, dude, I'm tired. And I did a whole bunch of business thinking today, right? I did a whole bunch of business thinking today. But they didn't do a lot of action. They didn't actually put things into application. And so the thing that I have learned and the thing that I have observed is that the people who are the most successful, and you can actually see this happen in, if we go back just a couple hundred years ago, this is actually a really big problem. All right, this is actually a very, very big problem. And this is where the source of it comes from. Over the last, 40, 60 years, as college and, formal educational institutions have, really taken over and become the popular kind of like mainstream way that people go, it's created this world where people have created false beliefs and false realities around, believing that they need to go to school for 20 years before they're allowed to actually practice something, right? It's like, hey, you need to go to school and you need to spend all this money and you need to go read all these books and take all these tests. And then you need to go, join the next level up and get the next degree and spend even more money. And then you need to spend even more money on top of that and spend even more years going to school and learning and learning and learning. And then and only then, once you're, 30, 40 years old, will we actually allow you to practice any of the things that you've been learning. The unfortunate thing is most people that are going through that system, they're getting out and on the other end, they're realizing like, hey, they can't even get jobs doing the stuff that they actually went to college for. They get jobs and 50% of the jobs that people are getting out of college, they didn't even need their degree to get anyways. And so what I have learned, if you go back even a couple hundred years ago, everyone was learning, not everyone, but the majority of people, they were learning through apprenticeship. All right, and what apprenticeship was, so let's go back, let's say back in the day, you wanted to be a blacksmith. What you would do is you would be an apprentice under the blacksmith. And the blacksmith would have you inside of the forge, and he would have you just go out and actually do things. He would have you forge things and work and, hands-on do this stuff and learn through doing. And what I have learned is that if you actually want to grow, if you want to experience personal growth and actually build a business and actually get to 10K months, you are not going to get there through consuming more e-courses and more podcasts and more YouTube videos and sitting in another Facebook group and downloading another free resource. That's not going to be what gets you to 10K. The best way, if you actually want to learn, this is what I've done myself, and this is what I observed that all other successful people that I've ran into as well have done as well. What they do is they go out and they hop on an actual sales call. And they take that sales call and they either get a close or they don't. But then what they do is they go back to the drawing boards, they rewatch the recording of the sales call, they figure out what did I actually do well, what did I not do well, and if they are a part of a program, what they do then is they take all of the information, everything they've observed, and they go watch the course, they go watch a video. They say, oh, like, man, I was not very smooth with that objection, that pricing objection. So they go watch the course on how to do better at pricing objection. And then they take that back into their next sales call, right? This is the way you learn. You go out, you implement, then you go back, you do some research, you learn. You can go to YouTube just like this. You can watch a bunch of free stuff. You can go join someone's program. You can go buy an e-course. Whatever it is, you can find stuff, whether it's free or paid. You learn, you implement, and then you take that right back into your next sales call. And it's the same thing with client delivery. It's like, cool, the best way to actually get client results is to coach more people. The best way to build a better onboarding is to onboard more people. And so many people, they have this backwards. And they have it backwards because mainstream and the whole of society right now, they're caught in this thing where they never feel like, hey, you're not ready. You're not good enough yet. You need to go consume more information. You need to go through more textbooks. You need to take more tests. You need to study more, and then you can do it. But that's just not the way you're going to get to 10K. The way you're going to get to 10K is by signing clients. The way you're going to get to 10K is by coaching more clients. The way you're going to get to 10K is by implementing, doing, going and looking at how things happened, getting feedback, understanding what needs to be better, what was great, what was good, what sucked, and then fixing it. And so this is why I said focus is the first thing. The two things that you need to focus on to get to 10K is getting clients and getting client results. And the part there that the important part that ties this all together is this personal growth part. You need to do these two things, and then you need to, inside of those, get better at doing those. All right? So you need to get better at doing those things. And so that's the first thing when it comes to focus. If it's outside of getting clients or getting client results, it's not something you should be focused on. So you shouldn't be focused on, how do I go out and build a better logo? You should not be focused on building a website or anything like that. You should be focused on getting content out on social media, getting in the DMs and talking to people, booking in sales calls, taking sales calls, chatting with people, getting them into your program, and then actually coaching them and trying to get them results, right? And that's the only things that you should be focused on. And so that's the first piece. What is it that we should be focused on? We should be focused on getting clients and getting clients results and trying to get better at those two things. And the only way you're going to get better is not through consuming more. It's not going to be going through more e-courses, more e-books. The way that you're going to get better at those things is going out and doing. It's taking action. It is executing. And then and only then going back to the playbooks, the videos, the textbooks, and trying to understand why are certain things working that are working, why are certain things broken that are broken. And so that's number one. Let's go ahead and delete that. Let's move on to number two. All right. So the second thing here is skills. Now this one kind of builds off of focus and what we just talked about, but let's actually talk about what are the actual skills, right? What are the actual skills that I need to build? What is it that I actually need to, get good at? Pardon my drawings here. That was pretty bad. Let me just redo that. All right. So what is it that I should actually be focused on, right? So there are 4 things. All right, I'm not sure if that one was any better, but that's good enough. All right, so there are really only 4 things that we should be focused on getting better skill-wise when it comes to growing our business. All right, and so the first one is going to be offers. And I'm going to break down each of these and what they kind of mean. The second one is going to be content. The third one is going to be sales. And the fourth one is going to be time. These are the 4 things that you should be obsessively trying to better understand and obsessively trying to get better results inside of. So offers. What is an offer? So the offer, this is a very important conversation. So many people get this one wrong. You have your, let me just draw another thing here. You have your program. All right, program, and you have your offer. Let me drag that down. So you have your program and you have your offer. And what's important to understand here is that the program and the offer are not the same. So I see this one get super confused by a lot of people, and I totally get it. For a long time, I was confused with it as well. So the program is what you deliver. All right, the program is what you deliver. It's the logistical apps. It's the logistical, it's the logistical check-in calls and the resources and the playbooks. And we're going to talk about offers actually here on point. I'm just not looking at my notes. Point number 5, we're actually going to talk about offers. So we're going to go deep on this. But the offer is how you sell it. And so the first thing that you have to get really good at, and the first skill that you really want to build, is understanding how to make good offers. So the program is what you deliver, but the offer is how you sell it. And I'm going to break down for you here in a little bit exactly, how to sell offers, how to create good offers. But this is important to understand. I see so many coaches who will, they don't have very many clients. And what they do is they're spending all of this time trying to build out, better programs and better resources and better playbooks, but they don't actually have any clients. And so what ends up happening is they're spending all of this time, creating this better program, creating this better program, creating this better program, but they're not actually running people through it. And this is a big issue, because fundamentally, what people are going to pay for is they're going to pay for their problems to be solved. All right, so they're going to pay to get value. We're going to have a value conversation here in a minute as well. But when you create something and it's not validated, when you create something and you don't know that it's what people actually want to buy, you're taking this big, big risk. So I want to give you a story. I want to give you an example and an illustration here. So one of the very first businesses, when I dropped out of college at 21, I knew I was interested in business. I knew it was like kind of the route I wanted to go. Specifically, I knew internet businesses. I'm watching Christian Guzman. I'm watching Nick Bear, some of these people, in the fitness industry, growing and exploding their businesses, right? And so I was super interested. I was like, cool, I'm going to start this clothing brand. And so I spent 6 months, buying different samples and getting in orders and building out a website. And I was posting a whole bunch of things on social media, trying to grow my following and all this kind of stuff. I was spending all this time, quote unquote, building this business. But I wasn't actually selling anything. I never had a website. I never actually launched anything. I was waiting. I was building and I'm doing all this work, like I'm grinding. And one day I kind of woke up and I just realized, like, dude, like I've just not actually pressed go on this. I've not actually launched this thing. I'm spending all this time building a better website, and I'm focused on building a following and social media and all this stuff. But I wasn't actually in the market. I didn't actually have an offer out. I wasn't actually trying to sell any of these clothes that I was trying to put together. So one random Saturday, I was just like, cool, like it's time to go. I just need to do this. I've been, procrastinating. So I hit go. I launched this thing. I make one sale, and the sale was actually from my friend, and I'd given my friend a discount code. And so by the time the discount code and shipping and all that stuff came out, I actually ended up losing like $5. So the one sale I made, I ended up losing like $5 on. I lost all of the time, the energy, the effort over the last 6 months of doing all this building and all this scheming and feeling like I was being productive, feeling like I was doing things, but I actually wasn't. And so I learned a very important lesson there, which is like, hey, you need to get in the market. You need to make offers. And so offers, again, the program is what you deliver, but the offer is how you sell it. And so what you need to do is you need to spend time putting out offers and understanding what is it that people actually want. How can I, another quote that I think about a lot. I heard this several years ago, and it literally shook me to my core with how truthful this was. The quote was, I'm going to write this down here. The quote was, some words sell more than others. Some words sell more than others. I was like, that's crazy. Some words sell more than others. That's the best way to summarize an offer. Some words sell more than others. There are coaches who have some of the best programs in the world, but they don't understand how to make offers. They don't understand what it is people actually want and how to communicate. So the way to interpret this is some people understand how to communicate with their ideal client in a way where their ideal client feels heard and understood, and that they can see that, hey, this person has a solution that would be a good fit for me. And some coaches don't get this part, right? And so it's very, very important to understand, like, your offer and your program are two very different things. The offer is how you communicate to people what it is you do. And so if you're bad at communicating to people your program and what it is you do and the problems you solve and how it is you can help them, you're going to struggle to get clients. You can have the best program in the world, but if you don't understand how to actually explain it to people, if you don't understand how to make this offer, the offer is basically you extending an invitation. It's saying, hey, this is how I can help you. Is that something that you would be interested in? Is that something you would like some help with? This is the problem I can solve for you. This is the result I can get for you. Is that something you would be interested in? Is that something you would like some help with? That is what an offer is. And so the very first skill you have to understand is how to make offers, which is basically, how do I extend an invitation to my ideal client in a way where they see the value, they see the problems they solve, and they go, hey, yes, that's something that I would be willing to put money into. And so you have to build the skills of making an offer. If you can understand how to make good offers, if you can understand how to make good offers, you can literally be bad at marketing, you can literally be bad at sales, and you will still land clients. Because the offer is the foundation of everything, right? It's why Hormozi's very first book came out with is $100 million offers. It is the core, it is the foundation of your entire business. Anyways, I kind of ranted on that. The program is what you deliver. We're going to talk about offers here in a second. I'm going to show you exactly the frameworks for making good offers. But the first skill that you have to really acquire is making good offers. Some words sell more than others, meaning some people are just better at communicating to people what it is they do. And so that's the way that you should be viewing offers. How do I communicate to people what it is I do and how it is I can help them? Just going out and just being like, hey guys, like, I'm a great coach, and like, believe me, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be amazing. Like, trust me, I've got this certification back here that says I'm a personal trainer. So like, you should trust me and pay me money. It's not going to get you clients. You have to understand how to make good offers. You have to understand how to communicate with people. You have to understand how to make, again, this good offer to actually get a client. The second piece then, so that's offers. All right, we got that one covered. The second piece is you have to learn how to create good content. All right, you have to understand how to make good content. Content is marketing, and the purpose of marketing is to build an audience. It's to bring awareness to a group of people, to your ideal clients. It's to attract them in and to pull them in and educate them on the ways that you can help them and the problems that you can solve for them. And this is a skill. This is how you actually take strangers from the internet and you take them from cold to sold, right? This is how you take strangers from the internet and you take them from cold to sold. That is the purpose of marketing. That is the purpose of content. It is to build an audience. It is to create this following and this friends list or this Facebook group or this Instagram full of people that are there to consume your content around, what it is, the problems you solve, the program you have, the offer you have, and to help them see like, hey, this is how I can help you. These are the problems I solve. These are the things that I do inside my program. This is how it would benefit you. This is the reason why you should talk to me and want to sign up for my program. And so many people have this one wrong. They're focused in their content on just like going viral. They're focused in their content of like posting, just a bunch of like kind of like vague, low quality stuff. They're doing lots of, like dancing around on the screen and things like that. And they're not really providing any sort of value. And so while sometimes that content can go viral and it can get massive exposure and you can get lots of eyeballs and you can even get lots of followers, typically it does not convert into clients. And it's because, cool, so you're an online fitness coach and you follow, some popular TikTok dance or whatever. It goes viral, you get a bunch of followers. Well, cool. All those people are there because of your viral dance. They're not there because they're struggling with, you're a binge eating coach. They're not there because they struggle with binge eating. And that's the important concept here that's so foundational and fundamental. We have coaches that are literally hitting $10,000 months with 1,000, 1,500 followers. And the reason for that is because those 1,000, 1,500 followers are quality audience members. They're not these massive influencers that have all of these different, a huge following. It's that they have the right followers. They have followers who are actually a good fit for their program. And that's the important piece, is when it comes to content, you want to focus on quality. You want to focus on content that actually communicates to the ideal client. Hey, this is your problem. This is the ways that I can help you. Hey, this is what my program is all about, right? That's the kind of content that you want to be creating. So, content is the second piece. And again, the purpose of content is to warm people up. It's to educate them on the problems that you solve. It's to educate them on how you can actually help people. And this is probably not going to be the most viral content. And the reason for that, again, is because it's just niche content, right? You help people with binge eating. Like, how many people struggle with that? Well, like, there's a lot of people that struggle with that. But like, that's not some mainstream topic that's just going to pop off and go viral every single day. You might pop off and go viral here and there. And again, it's having followers is not a bad thing. Like, if it's the right followers, that's a good thing. If you build a 10,000 member audience and you're a binge eating coach and it's all people that are struggling with binge eating, like, dude, you are going to have clients for the rest of your life. Like, you have a solid, good quality audience. But if you get 10,000 followers and they're all there because, again, it was because of some viral, dance thing that happened, it's not going to really, that's not benefiting you, right? They're not a good fit for your program. So the third thing then here is we have sales. So sales, so many people overcomplicate this one. Sales, it's not that difficult, right? Sales is not the big deal that everybody makes it out to be. If I say time and time again, if more coaches went into sales calls and just, didn't have this constant looming thing over their head about the fact that, hey, this is a sales call and there's money involved and, et cetera, they would have like 90 plus 100% close rates. And the reason for that is because when we are in coach mode, we naturally do what you're supposed to do in sales. So sales is literally just as simple as figuring out what the problem is that someone is having and getting a good understanding of how is this showing up, how is this impacting them, like what is actually going on. It's understanding how committed someone is to solving that problem. And then it's just diagnosing the problem for them and saying, hey, so this, and this is your problem, which is why this, and this is what we actually need to do to solve that. And this is what we do every single day inside of coaching conversations, right? We do this every single day inside of coaching conversations. When I'm getting on a call with one of my one-to-one clients, I'm literally there to solve problems. And that's all that sales is. Sales is just problem solving. I'm getting on that call and I'm trying to figure out, what are you struggling with? What's not working right now? What is working well? What have we done? What have we actually implemented? How did that actually work out? So that ultimately at the end of that call, I can come to a conclusion. I can say, cool, based on everything you're telling me, like, this is where we need to focus. This is the things that we need to do. This is the actual game plan for this week moving forward or this month moving forward, and lay out a step-by-step game plan for them. And then as the client, like, they can choose to follow that plan or not follow that plan. And that's just what sales is, right? Some people are going to choose to, you're going to go through this call, you're going to find the problem, you're going to get a good understanding of it, then you're going to lay out the game plan for them, and they're going to choose, yes, I want to move forward with this, or they're going to say, no, I don't want to move forward with it. It's literally just that simple. And so sales at the end of the day is really just understanding human communication. And I tell all of my coaches who are needing help with sales, because that's one thing I help them with, I really encourage them to just go in and just be a coach. So what I don't mean by that is to go in and actually, oh, cool, well, the first thing we need to do is we need to build this program, and let me just go ahead and build this program. The first thing we're going to do is let's use this split and this. I'm not saying to literally coach them on the call. What I'm saying is put on your coaching hat and just get curious. Put on your coaching hat and just get curious and better understand, why is this person struggling? What's holding them up? What's the problem, right? Like, get a good understanding of, like, cool, if you were to work with me, like, we wouldn't even need to do an onboarding call because I already understand your problem and I can get off this call and I can immediately go and I can start building your program because I very, very intimately understand your problem and understand exactly what kind of program we need to put together, right? So again, sales for a lot of people, just the fact that it's a sales call is the thing that throws them off, but they don't realize that, hey, in my everyday coaching conversations, I'm actually having to sell my clients on implementing the plans that I create for them. And so if you can go into your sales calls, put your coach's hat on, again, we're not actually, coaching as in like giving them solutions. But if you can put on your coaching hat as far as, like you don't let bullshit slip with your clients. Somebody says something, you're like, I don't know, that's a little bit fishy. Like, what do you mean by that? Right? Like you hold your clients accountable. You genuinely try to figure out what their problems are so that you can solve them. And that's all you got to do inside of sales, right? So actually, I forgot to put number 2. Number 2 here is skills, right? So it's like, what skills do we need to build? And so that's what sales is, right? That's what sales is. Sales is getting good at identifying problems and creating solutions for people. And then the last and fourth piece here, the fourth skill that you really want to focus on is time management and how to actually spend your time. And we spent already a lot of time inside of, the first 30 minutes here just talking about time. What should I be focused on? What should I actually be focused on? What should I totally ignore? This is super important. Again, this is the number one piece that throws people off. They spend all of this time working on things that are just not productive. They spend all this time working on things that don't put, again, back to the focus piece, they spend all this time on things that are not getting clients or getting clients results, right? That's the only two things that you should really be focused on. And so, they wake up and, they check their emails and then, Hormozy dropped a new video, so they go watch his video. And then, they see they got some notifications on social media, so they go check that. Then they see that, hey, their favorite influencer just made a post, so they go check that. Then they see that, again, there's something else over here, so they go check that. Then they open up, their fitness app and they see that one of the clients messaged them, and so they hop into that. And then all of a sudden, the day's half gone, and they realize, actually most people don't realize, but what's happening is the day's half gone and they've just not done anything to move the business forward that day. They've not done anything to actually get more clients, to get more leads, to book more calls. They've not done the things that they actually need to do to grow their business. And so learning how to spend your time, if there's one thing out of all of this, first of all this is important. If there's one thing that you could really, really put some focus on, it'll be better understanding how to use your time, right? That's probably one of the biggest things that I help clients with is just understanding, what is it that I should actually be doing? Am I being effective with my time? Am I being productive? Am I focused in the right areas? Because at the end of the day, when we wake up, if you are blessed to see tomorrow's sunrise, you're going to get 24 hours. Inside of those 24 hours, we all have different responsibilities and different things that come up. There's no doubt about that. But we do all get 24 hours. And so the time that you do have, the time that you do have, you might have, a marriage and kids, and you might have responsibilities and things that do require your time. But the time that you do have to spend working on your business, you want to make sure that it is actually focused on the things that move you forward. And this is going to be the difference maker 6 months from now, a year from now, and where it is you're at. Because if you spend the next year just focused on doing the wrong things, you're going to get a year down the road and you're not going to be any further along. So even if you do have limited time, it's important to understand, how do I most effectively use that time? All right. So these are going to be the 4 main skills that we really need to focus on. We need to get better at creating offers. We need to get better at creating content. We need to get better at sales, and we need to get better at time management and understanding, again, what should I actually be focused on and what should I totally ignore? So the third thing here now. So the first thing is focus. What should we focus on? Second thing is cool, now that we're understanding that we're focused on getting clients, keeping clients, specifically, what are the skills inside of that we should mainly be focused on? Again, the reason I didn't put a lot of client success stuff in that is, I find that most fitness coaches, they're already good coaches. And spending more time, at this point in the stage, getting better at coaching is not typically something that's going to be a huge needle mover. They're already a good coach. They're already good at fitness, which is why they're interested in building this business. And so it does them well to spend more time focusing on actually building their business than continuing to get more certifications and more things like that. Now, you should always continue furthering your education, getting better at those things. But there's a real awareness that's needed. Maybe you do just like severely lack understanding how to coach people. And if that's the case and you need to go get, some sort of certification or something like that, that's totally a thing. You should absolutely understand how to get people results before you start trying to build your business. There's no doubt about that. But there's also then a level of self-awareness of understanding, cool, if I was to put these things on a scale, like which one would I be better at? Like, am I better at business than I am at coaching? Well, then you should probably go learn how to be a better coach. Or am I better at coaching than I am at growing my business? And what I find is that that's the case for most coaches. They're better at being a coach than growing a business, which is why you should just focus more on actually building your business, right? So what is number 3? So number 3 is you versus them. So we're going to start getting into some actual tactics of how to grow the business, all right? So the first piece was all about focus. What should I be focused on? The second piece was cool. And out of, getting clients, signing clients, getting client results, personal growth, what are the actual skills I should be focused on? I should be focused on getting better offers, better at content marketing and lead generation, better at sales, better at managing my time. Let's actually start diving deeper into, cool, I have this good understanding of the foundations and the principles that I should be focused on, but how do we actually begin growing this business? Because we do want to get to 10K months. And so the first thing is we really have to pick a niche and we have to decide how we're actually going to show up inside the market and what kind of program we're going to build, how it is that we're going to help people. And so over here on the right, I want to start with you. So there are 2 sides to this conversation. There is you and there is them. And let me break this down for you. So there are 2 sides to this coin. There are 2 sides of this coin when it comes to choosing your niche, choosing your market, deciding, who exactly it is you're going to serve, what problems you're going to solve, what kind of offer, what kind of program are you actually going to put out there. Now, I have a unique approach to this in the fact that, most people have been taught, and it's, what I was kind of taught when I was first, beginning to grow my business and things. Most people are told to immediately just look at the ideal client, the market, the niche, and decide cool, who is it that you're going to serve? What are the problems they have? What are their frustrations? And build a business around them. Now, the issue that I have with that is when I built businesses out of this place, I was building businesses that were very psychological. And what I mean by that is every single day, I always felt like I was playing this mouse and bait game, right? I always felt like I was always chasing the next thing. I felt like I was playing, 3D chess of trying to mastermind and understand who are these people and, what's these big fears and problems and pain points. And I'm trying to figure out what kind of content can I put out that's going to click with them. And I was always trying to, again, play this 3D chess game of being 2 steps ahead of them. And so I always felt like I was just chasing, right? I always felt like I was just chasing. I was always trying to understand this. It's I'm trying to understand them. And this is important. You do need to understand your ideal client. But I want to offer an alternative view. I want to offer an alternative view that I've found to be much more simple, but also a lot more fun. The frame that I have been building businesses for the last several years over, it's how I actually help my clients, and it's what we've seen to be the most successful long-term, the most sustainable, and really just eliminates all of that anxiety around, are people going to like this? Are they not going to like this? Is starting with you first. All right, so it's starting with you first. Let me redo that arrow. All right. And so the question we ask ourselves is not so much, cool, what kind of content do I need to create to be able to get leads and to get clients this week? Instead, we ask ourselves, what kind of content do I want to create? What kind of content do I want to put out? What's content that I find naturally interesting? Because over here, with you, it's you naturally have skills. You naturally have interests. You naturally have these things that you find yourself being passionate about. You have these certifications that you've went out and got. You have, special like YouTube channels that you follow and podcasts that you listen to. Like, you have things that you yourself are interested in. And so over here, we build businesses with the belief that if there's something that you find interesting, there are absolutely other people out there that would find those things interesting as well. Last time I saw the actual the number for people that log on to Instagram and Facebook every single month. Again, this was just last time I saw it, so it's probably even higher at this point. But every single month, there are roughly 2.8 billion people, all right, billion with a B, people that log on to Facebook and Instagram every single month. 2.8 billion people a month log on to Facebook and Instagram a month. And to get to your first 10K months, you're really only going to need roughly 20 to 30 clients. And really, to get to the 20 and 30K months, if that's your goals, we're really just looking for your next, 50 to 100 clients. We're not looking to need to be, Tony Robbins and bring in, 1 million clients. We're not even looking to need to bring in hundreds of thousands of clients. We're just looking for our next 20, 30, 50, 100 clients. And so out of 2.8 billion people that log on to Facebook and Instagram every single month, there are absolutely 100 people that are also interested in the things that you're interested in. And so again, we build with the belief that if you find something to be interesting, if you have specialized certifications and things that you're naturally drawn to, that if we build off of that, we build with a belief that there are absolutely other people out there that would also be interested as well. And so again, everything we do is no longer so much through trying to play this big, psychological 3D chess game of, constantly chasing and trying to understand what the next big thing is going to be. And instead, we just build from the things that we find to naturally be interesting. And so we ask ourselves, what do I want to post this week? What kind of program do I want to build? What do I want to sell? Versus what the other coaches, most other coaches in the industry ask themselves, is they say, it's not about what I want to build, what do I have to build? It's not about, what do I want to post this week? It's what do I have to post this week in order to get the leads and the clients, right? It's not about who do I want to become, it's who do I have to become. Because everything, again, that they're doing is from this external place of trying to map out and understand this psychology and all this 4D chess of these other people. And again, there's many businesses that have been built from this view. Right? It's not that it's doesn't work or it's wrong or anything in that aspect. It's just much more difficult. And I found that many coaches struggle with that. My own self always found I always felt like I was kind of chasing the next big thing. So that's the you versus them equation. We have to understand what are your interests, what are your skills? And then the other part to that is, it is important. Your ideal client is still a factor in all of this. But through the lens of your skills and your interest, we just simply ask ourselves, cool, who would actually be a good fit for this program that I'm wanting to build that I find to be interesting? So I'll give you an example. I have a coach that I currently work with one-to-one who is an engineer. And he's an engineer himself, and so he really understands what it's like to navigate the workplace and the office while trying to reach your fitness goals. And so to him, those are problems that he solved. Those are things that's natural for him. It's not something he has to, there's so many people that try to pick the white collar space as their ideal client. And they're like, well, it's because they got a lot of money, so I'm just going to go try to serve those people. But they've never actually stepped into an office themselves. They never actually put on a suit and tie themselves. And so none of it comes natural to them. They're always just kind of trying to guess and fit into these people's world and try to be relatable. Versus my client's actually relatable because that is him. That's the lifestyle he lives. He's been there, he's done it, and he has an understanding of it. And so the question we ask ourselves is, because we understand what we're interested in, we understand our skills and our interests and the things that come naturally to us, we just simply ask, cool, who would be a good fit for this? And that becomes our ideal client. And so we asked, what would be a good fit? And then, what are their problems? And what are their frustrations and their desired outcomes and their dreams? And this is the middle place between these two, all right? So the middle place between these two is where we actually build our program. It's where we build our offers from. It's where we build the content presence that we build, the audience that we build. Everything comes from this middle place. But again, instead of starting here, instead of trying to map out these people that it's not us and we're just kind of guessing and, well, business owners have a lot of money, so let me just go out and try to serve business owners. Instead, we say, hey, what are my interests? What are my skills? What are the things that I'm good at? And why don't we create something for those people? So another example of that is, I was a fitness coach myself. I was a gym owner myself. And now I help gym owners and fitness coaches build online. And so when I post content, when I talk about struggles, when I talk about problems, to me, it's like it comes from a place of, I'm not trying to play some big 3D chess game. It's like I am my own ideal client. I've been there. I've done that. I've built those things. I've struggled with those things. I've faced those frustrations. And it's just much more fun to build a business from this place. Because again, all of the anxiety of feeling like you're playing this, 3D chess and chasing people down just completely goes away. So that's them versus you. So now that we have the skills, we have the focus, we're waking up and we're in the right frame of mind. We're focusing on the right things. The next piece is we need to pick a niche. We need to pick a market. We need to build an offer. We need to get a program out there. And so the way that I would encourage you to start is just sit down and ask yourself. So every single client that I bring through my doors, I take them through worksheets and we work through, who are you? What are your skills? What are your interests? And who is your ideal client then? And what are their problems and what are their frustrations? This is really step number one, is just understanding and gaining clarity around these things. So the fourth thing then, number 4, is we have to provide value. So when I first got started as an online fitness coach, I was working in construction. So I grew up in my family's construction business. Never really had to do sales or any of that kind of thing. And so to me, it was so confusing for the longest time. Like, why would someone actually give me money to help them get fit? It just didn't make sense to me. It was the wildest thing because I'm like, it's not that complicated. Like, you need to eat better. You need to eat more protein, cut out all the processed bullshit. You need to make it into the gym 4 days a week roughly, or more, or maybe 3 or less, whatever. But like, you need a consistent fitness routine. You need to make sure you're sleeping well. You need to hydrate yourself and you need to get some steps in. I was like, that's all it is. I'm like, why would someone pay me all of this money to do this thing to me that was just like a no-brainer and it was so simple? So I've thought about this for a while. And actually over the last, 7-8 years, it's something that I've spent a lot of time thinking about. Like, why do people actually pay you money? Like, where does money come from? Like, money mindset. What is money? Why do people get money? There are like literal billionaires in this world. There are actually people that literally have billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars. And then there are some people who make, $8 an hour. Why is that? There's some people that are completely homeless. Like, why is that? And it's like, it's not that, there's superpowers, right? It's not like there's like this magical thing going on in this world where like, oh, some people just like have this magical power and they're able to make money and other people can't. Like, everybody's human. So like, why is it that there's such a big difference? Why do some people make so much fucking money that it's you can't even comprehend it? And then some people can't make any. And it's value. And I heard this when I was first getting started. Everybody's like, dude, you just got to provide value. You got to provide value. You got to provide value. But it never made sense. Like, what is value? And I figured it out. All right. So I want to draw out an illustration for you. This is what value is. If you can understand this, if you can understand this simple concept that I'm about to draw out for you, you will understand how to make money. You will understand what value is. So fundamentally, value is any time that you solve a problem. That's what value is. So I'm going to give you some examples. You are able to see me through this recording and through this screen because I have my phone set up as a webcam right now, because I have this Apple laptop in front of me, because I have internet, which means I also have electricity. I've also got a light in front of me. I got some lights behind me. I'm inside of my apartment building right now. I'm inside of my office. All of these things are problems that I'm willing to pay money for. I'm willing to pay for my phone because without a phone, I'm not able to really communicate very well with the world. That's a problem it solves. I have this laptop because I'm here to run my business. Without this laptop, I can't run my online business. That's a problem that this laptop solves. I've got these lights in front of me because without lights, when it gets dark out, you can't see. I have electric right here because without electric, I can't run any of the appliances in my house. I don't have air conditioning. I don't have these lights in front of me. I don't have heat in the winter, right? I pay my landlord for this apartment building and this office that I'm in right now because without it, I wouldn't have a shelter. I wouldn't have a home. Things even as simple as you buy a sandwich at the store, you buy a sandwich at fast food or the deli or wherever, because it solves the problem of hunger, right? And hunger's pain. Hunger's a problem. Money is exchanged when a problem is solved. So value is just solving problems. So the things that we find to be the most simple and the most easy, a lot of times we're like, well, why would someone pay us for that? That's so simple, it's so easy. But that's the exact thing that you can monetize the easiest and probably at the highest ticket. Because while it comes easy to you, it's a complete mystery to other people. So we make money when we can help someone solve a problem that they don't know how to solve on their own. And even though it's simple to you, even though it's not a big deal to you, to them, it is. You understand how to get people fit because you've spent all of this time researching and getting certifications and going to the gym yourself and working out and solving the problem of getting fit for yourself. You've taken time to do that. But your ideal client doesn't want to, right? And that's why they just pay you. They just pay you because they say, well, dude, you've done 30,000 hours of figuring this out. I'm just going to pay you and you just give me the 30,000 hours and just do as much of it for me and just give me the plan and I'll just show up. It seems simple to you because you're good at it, but to them, they don't understand it at all. In fact, it's even beyond that. A lot of times people are also just paying us for accountability. So what we need to understand, the simple graphic of what value is. Fundamentally, your ideal client is here. So this is current situation. This is currently where they're at. And this is the desired situation. This is where they want to be. And your program, your offer, is the bridge that bridges this gap. Your offer and your program is what helps people go from where they're at to where they want to be. AKA, this is value, right? This is value. So when someone goes from where they are to where they want to be, along that pathway, you are going to have to solve problems. You're going to solve the problem of they don't know what foods to buy. They don't know how to cook healthy food in a way that doesn't taste like shit, right? They think they have to eat chicken, rice, and broccoli. They think they have to eat a bunch of salads. To you, you know this is not true, but to them, that's what they believe. For lots of people, their ideal clients right now are looking at Ozempic. For lots of people, their ideal clients right now are looking at these MLM shake diets. They're looking at Jenny Craig. They're looking at all of these quick fixes. That's what your ideal client is looking at. And to you, you're like, dude, no, you're like, dude, that's not the way to do it. There's a better way. There's a way to actually do this. But they don't know. They literally just don't fucking know. Or maybe they do know, but they don't know how to do it for themselves. So what that means is there's lots of problems to be solved. There's lots of problems to be solved, right? There's lots of pain points to be alleviated. So the way this works, and this kind of gets into a client retention piece. You help your client go from, or you help your prospect see and understand that this is where they're at, and this is where they want to be. You solve all of the problems and all the pain points that are standing in their way, that are actually holding them back from making that transformation. They're 225, but they want to be 180. You bring them into the program. You provide value to them by solving all of the bullshit problems that are standing in their way. They're not going to the gym consistently. They need to be held accountable. They need to be eating better. You solve all those problems. You alleviate all those pain points. And they go from, 220 to 180. Boom. But now here's the thing, is there's going to be a new goal. So all that ever happens is they just keep extending the goal line. So they go from desired situation to now this is their new current situation. Now they're 180. Well, now cool, we lost the weight. What if we do a little bit of a bulk and we build a little bit of muscle and we bulk up to 190, a healthy 190? Well, now we've just created another gap. Now they're 180, but they want to be 190. In the next 12-week program that we sell them into, or the next 6-month, the next 12-month program that we sell them into, the next offer we make, the next bit of value that we offer them is helping them go from 180 to 190. And this cycle just continues to happen over and over and over again. You just keep solving the next problem. This is what value is. Value is problem solving. Value is alleviating pain. When you can understand this, I know it seems so simple, but this is what value is. This is why people pay money. This is why they will pay you money. Money is never exchanged unless there's value. So even though this seems simple, this is such an important concept to really sit with and to grasp. You have to provide value. You have to solve problems. You have to alleviate pain points for people and help them go from where they're currently at to where it is they want to be if you want to make money. And if you want to make money consistently, you want to do this at a high level, and you want to, back to the very first thing of focus and skills, you want to get good at this. Right? You want to get good at this. You want to continue to sharpen your skills and to get better at selling people and better at creating content and better at making better offers and better at actually coaching people and getting them results. You want to get better at taking people from where they're at to where they want to be. And then you just keep solving their next problems. Cool, we lost the weight. What's the next goal? Awesome. Here's the plan to do that. Is that something you would like help with? Cool. They reached the next goal. Sweet. We went from here to here. What's the next goal? Cool. Is that something you would like help with? So the more problems you can solve, the more pain points you can alleviate, the more value you will provide, and money follows value. You have to provide value. And if you're not providing value, if you are selling people into a program and you're not actually delivering results, if you're not giving them the resources and the support and the playbooks and everything that they need to actually get results, then over the long haul, you are going to struggle to grow your business. And so this is what value is. This is why people will pay you. So now that we understand who your ideal client is, we understand what you're interested in, we understand what program that you want to create, we understand your niche, we have to ask ourselves, how can we create as much value for this niche as possible? How do we provide as much value for these people as possible? Because when we provide value, we will make money. And so, that's number 4. That's value. I'm going to pause this. I'm going to come back because this only records to an hour, so it's about to cut off. So let's hop into number 5. All right, we are back. So that was all about value. Like I said, this is going to be a longer one. Let's keep rolling here. Number 5. Now that we understand who our ideal client is, we understand our niche, we understand our market, we understand, hey, we have to provide them value, and so we create this program that's going to alleviate their pain points, alleviate their problems. Number 5 is we have to create an offer. So I talked a little bit about offers earlier, but we have to learn how to create an offer. Now, again, what is so important to understand is that you have your program, and you have your offer. And these are not the same thing. The program is, your app, it's your coaching, it's your, resources, your playbooks, your grocery list, your cheat sheets. This is the logistical stuff that you're doing to actually help someone get results, right? This is how you provide the value to people, right? This is how you actually get them from where they are to where they want to be. What's important, though, is an offer is how you sell it. So a good offer is something that is assembled, it's not created. It's not something that's super creative. Offers are made in the marketplace. And earlier I said, hey, some words sell more than others. And the interpretation of that is that the better you can get at articulating to people their current situation versus their desired situation and the solution that you have created for them, the better you get at communicating that stuff, verbally and written, communicating that to people, the more clients you will get, right? The more your offers will bang. And so an offer is really made up of 3 core components. All right. So the very first part of an offer is a desired outcome. So this is one of the most important parts. If you don't get the outcome, if you don't get the desired outcome, or some people call it the program promise, if you don't get the outcome nailed from the beginning, it will kill off your offer. All right. So many coaches, they're going out into the market and they don't have a specific outcome that they help people get. It's not tangible. It's not actually, visible. Instead, they have something that's just like kind of abstract. It's blurred. It's esoteric. And what they don't realize is, they're going out into the market and they're just being like, hey guys, like what's going on? Like I'm this coach and I'm super good at coaching. All right. I'm this super good coach and you should want to hire me. And I help busy moms. All right. So I help busy moms and busy dads. And again, I'm really, really good and it's going to be a great time and just like join up. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be the best thing ever. Believe me, pay me $3,000. That's not a very good offer, right? That's not a very good pitch. That's not a very good presentation. Not many people are going to take you up on that. If somebody does take you up on that, it's because like you could have just said whatever and they just would have paid you, which is awesome if you have that. It means like you've done a really good job at marketing and building rapport with people. What we need to do is we need to create a highly specific offer. It needs to be a very, 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 very specific outcome. And the only way we can do this, by the way, is when we actually understand who it is we serve, how it is we help them, when we understand the you versus them conversation, and we understand what value we're actually bringing to the market, only then can we create this good offer. Only then can we get specific. So the reason why most people aren't able to come up with good outcomes and program promises is because like they don't really understand who it is they're trying to help. They don't understand what value it is they're actually trying to provide. They don't understand why someone would even pay them money. And that's a big, big issue. And that's why they're just spinning their wheels. They're actually confused on the very foundations of their entire business. And they're trying to build this business. It's like building a house on the sand, right? They're trying to build this business and there's no foundation under it. You have to understand who it is you serve and the problems that you solve for them. And you have to understand what is your skill sets and what are you good at and what could you actually help someone achieve. And you have to understand what is the value that people are looking to get from me. How do I actually help these people? What is this step-by-step program that I have that takes someone from being 220 to being 180? When you understand those things, it becomes very clear how to create good outcomes. And you can specifically show up and tell somebody like, yeah, I've got this program. You can lose up to 24 pounds in 12 weeks, for XYZ specific niche, right? And you can make that offer. You can say, hey, I've got this 6-week program that helps you solve binge eating for good. You can make those specific outcomes because you understand what it is you do. And you understand the value it is that you actually provide to the world, to the market. So we have to have a specific outcome because again, let me give you some like outside analogies. Because this is basically how like all business works. But for some reason, when we get into, the coaching industry, so many coaches are afraid to make promises. They're afraid to talk about outcomes. And I'm going to talk about why that is, and I'm going to offer you maybe some different ways to view it. Because I totally get it. Like I said, I was a fitness coach myself. I am my ideal client. I understand the resistance that's there. I understand the resistance to say, hey, we could lose 24 pounds because, it's like, what if we don't? And we understand that like there's aspects that's out of our control. Like I can't control if someone actually puts in the work, if they actually follow, a decent meal plan, if they actually work out consistently. But let me give you some other examples. So let's say, for instance, you went to, let's say, for instance, like I grew up in my family's construction business. All right, so this is a great example. People didn't just show up and, talk to my dad and just say like, hey, like, we'd love for you to build us a house. And, my dad didn't just go like, oh yeah, cool. Like we'll build a house. It's going to be, it's going to be $500,000. So, just wire that money to me and, we'll show up and we'll get some boards out there and, we'll kind of build some stuff and we'll just kind of see like what happens. It's going to be great. It's going to be good, right? We're going to build the best house ever. Like, believe me, but we'll just kind of get started and we'll put some things together and see what happens. Right? No, that's not at all what happened. It was like we went to the architect and we drew up specifically what this house was going to look like. And we went and we took it down to the county office and we got things approved and we pulled permits. And when we went to that job site, we were there to build a very, very, very specific house in a very specific way. And we had a blueprint on exactly what it was we were building and how it was going to happen. And we knew what it was that we were setting out to do. And yet so many coaches, when they get into their business, they want to show up and they just want to be like, oh, like, trust me, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be good. It's just going to be like fitness stuff and, hoorah. Like, we're going to get in there. Motivation, right? Show up. You can do it. You can do it. It's going to be awesome. That's going to be 3K, right? And they wonder like why they're struggling to actually grow and scale their business, why they're struggling to talk to people. It's because people want to know exactly what it is you're going to do. So we have to come up with a specific outcome. What can people expect when they put money into you, when they invest money into you, when they process that credit card into your Stripe account? What is it that they can expect to get from you? Are you guys going to master macros and intermittent fasting over the next 12 weeks so that they can lose 24 pounds? Like, what is it that you guys are going to do specifically? Can they expect to solve binge eating for good? Like, what is it specifically? Can they expect to add 150 pounds to their total? What is it specifically that they can expect? It's so important. It's the missing piece for 90% of fitness coaches that I've ever worked with. They don't understand the specific outcome. And so it's making sales just so much harder because, again, they're showing up and they're just telling their ideal client, like, dude, just trust me, believe me, it's going to be great, it's going to be good. And the last thing that I'll say on this, and I'm kind of harping on this, so I digress after this. The last thing that I was saying, I tell my clients all the time, smaller promises are easier to keep. So when it comes to creating these outcomes and telling people, this is what you can expect from my program, it's always better to err on the smaller side. It's always better to err on the side of, like, hey, lose up to 12 pounds, you could lose up to 24 pounds. Like, it's better to err on the smaller side and make smaller promises than to go the other way. I saw a fitness coach the other day, in his bio, this coach had like hit me up and was like wanting to talk to me about my services and like how I could help him. But I saw his bio and it said lose, 42 pounds in 30 days. And I just shut the conversation down. That's not somebody I want to work with because those are big promises that you can't keep. Getting someone to lose 42 pounds in 30 days is not healthy, right? And so that's not somebody I want to work with. So smaller promises are easier to keep. That's something to take into mind here. But I hope you understand like why you need to have an outcome and understand that there's like kind of a nerve-wracking piece to putting something out there. But let that be a client success problem, right? Solve the sales problem, tell people what it is they can expect, and then just get them into your program and do everything you can. Build a great program, continue to refine this thing, do everything you can to get them results, right? So that's the outcome. The second part to a good offer is you need a plan. All right, so you need a plan. Maybe. My pen is not working here. All right. So, let me pause this. I'll come back. All right, we're going to keep rocking here. I'm just going to use my mouse. All right, so the second thing we need is we need a plan. All right, so we need a plan. Now, once we've made this outcome, once we've stated like, hey, this is what my program is, this is the kind of results you can expect over this time frame, the next logical thing is people are going to go, okay, cool. That seems cool. That seems like what it is I want. So how are we actually going to do that? And so we have to lay out a plan for them. We have to actually understand where it is we're going. And so many coaches, they're trying to lead, but they don't know where they're going. They don't understand their plan. They don't understand, how it is that they're actually going to get people to where it is they want to go. And so the plan is you want to be able to lay out for people, hey, first we're going to do this, then we're going to do this, and then we're going to do this. So again, so many coaches, it's like you're being lost in the wilderness. And, friend A comes up to you and is just like, hey guys, like, I know we're lost, but like, believe me, it's going to be great. It's going to be fine. It's going to be good. Like, let's not give up hope. Let's just keep going. Let's just, again, hoorah. But then the second friend comes up to you and is like, hey guys, look, I know we're lost. Good news is I actually have a map, and the map says we need to go here, and then we need to go here, and then we need to go here. So which one of those friends are you more likely to follow, right? You're going to follow the friend that actually has a map. You're going to follow the friend that has a well thought out plan of first we're going to do this, and then we're going to go do this, and then we're going to do this. That's going to be the person that you follow, right? And so again, now that we have an outcome, we need to lay out for people what is the actual plan. How are we actually going to deliver on making sure that outcome happens? And so the plan, again, is all about first we do this, and then we do this, and then we do this. And again, so many coaches, they're trying to lead, but they don't know where they're going. And so that creates confusion. It creates uncertainty in their ideal client. They're talking to them on a sales call, and they're like, I don't know what it is, but like something about they don't sound super confident, right? They're being super vague. It's kind of blurred. They're saying all this stuff. They might even be hype and excited, but like your ideal client just isn't buying it. They're not convinced. They're not clear. They're confused. And confusion is the number one enemy of sales. So once we have a desired outcome, once we have a clear program promise, and we can tell people exactly what they can expect when they join our program, we need to lay out for them step by step how exactly that's going to happen. First we do this, then we do this, and then we do this. And then the last part to a good offer is pricing. All right, so I'm using my mouse here, so this is not looking as good. Cool. Pricing. Now, with pricing, I've tried many different pricing models over the years, and I've tried many different things. I've had coaches implement and try different things, and the best thing that we found to work is there's two things here. It's pricing for the lowest now number that gets the most amount of closes, and it's paid in fulls. And so what that actually practically looks like is, one, it's either doing weekly payments, because weekly payments is the smallest now number that we can collect there to get them started and to get them going. It creates the least amount of resistance to enrolling into your program. It creates the most amount of the highest closing percentage if pricing is the factor. And then also paid in fulls, right? And so that's the biggest pricing models that we've seen to work the best. I want you to think about it like this. It's like, cool. So if you have a fitness program, and let's say it's a 3K program, when you show up to calls and you're like, yep, it's 3K. And they're like, cool. Do I need to pay for that all today? Is there a payment plan? You're like, nope, you got to pay for it all today. There'll be some people that take you up on that, but there'll also be a lot of people that be like, well, I just don't have 3K today. It's a great program. It's awesome. It's amazing. Like if you had a payment plan, I would totally do it, but I just don't have 3K. So you'll get some people that'll join, but you'll get a bunch of people that won't. Now then, you could take it the next step and you could be like, oh, yeah, of course we have payment plans. So it's a 6-month program. It's $500 a month. So it's $500 here today to get started, and then $500 every 30 days. Cool. So now you're going to have more people that are going to join up, but you're still going to have some people like, I don't know, $500, like, I really need to talk to my husband. I really need to talk to my wife. Like, spending $500, here today, like, that's an amount where, like, I don't really know. I would probably need to go talk to them. We just need to talk finances, spending that much money. Because that's really the objection. The objection is getting over that $500. It's typically not even the $3,000. It's the $500 today. And so what we found to work the best is weekly payments. It's the smallest now number to just get them started and get them enrolled and get them into the program. And so again, we like to do weekly payments. So now imagine it's like, hey, it's $3,000. Do I have to pay for that all today? Oh, no, totally not, right? Some people like to pay us in full. Most people like to put it on a payment plan. So we do weekly payments, it's $125 a week, right? And so now that it's $125 a week, what's going through in their mind is no longer, I've got to pay $3,000. I got to pay it all today. Yikes. I don't have $3,000. It's not even asking them for $500 a day. Yikes. I got to talk to my husband. Got to talk to my wife. Now it's, hey, do I have $125 to go ahead and get started here today? Because really what most people, the objections that we're really trying to overcome is it's a lack of certainty. It's they're on the outside looking in. It's difficult to know. It's like, cool, there's this person from the internet. I've been consuming their content. I've been talking to them. We've had a good call, went back and forth. Like, it's great. It's amazing. It's good or whatever. But man, like, what happens when they process this $500? What happens when they process this $3,000? But 125, that's a whole different conversation. It's 125 a week. You get them into the program. You get them started. They start to see results. They're inside. It's exciting. You crush it on your end because you're a great fucking coach. You provide a ton of value. You have a good program. So they come in again. It's exciting. It's good. It's great. 125 a week comes out and they're good to go. Now then, some coaches, they do want cash. They want cash now, or maybe they need cash now. And so you can also offer paid in fulls. Now, what I like to do with paid in fulls that is unique to most people do it the opposite of the way I do it. So I like to incentivize paid in fulls by making paid in fulls a discount. So at the program, let's say, for instance, is $3,000, I make that to be the payment plan. Like, that's just the normal price, right? So I normalize. It's like, oh yeah, most people are on the payment plan, right? So that's the $125 a week. And then I say, like, but like, if you would like to pay for it in full today, we do offer a little bit of a discount. And then you let them know, like, maybe the discount is, maybe it's even $1,000. Like, if you would like to pay in full today, it's $2,000. So I incentivize people by offering a discount to pay in full. Now, what most people do is they do it the opposite way. They say, oh yeah, it's $3,000 if you want to pay in full, but if you want a payment plan, we can totally do that. But the payment plan is, it's $750 a month. And so it actually comes out to be this more expensive thing. It's actually, $4,000 or $5,000. And so really what that's doing is like, because you're poor and you can't pay for the whole thing, I'm going to make you pay even more money overall, right? And so it just leaves a little bit of a sour taste in people's mouth. So instead, I like to do it backwards. Again, we offer the weekly payment plans. That's just the normal $3,000. But hey, if you would like to pay it in full today, it's $2,500. If you'd like to pay it in full today, it's $2,000. And the last thing I'll say on that, you can either do that, the paid in full, you can offer that option either directly on the strategy session, on the sales call, or you can offer that on the onboarding as well. So I actually kind of prefer to do it on the onboarding because one of the worst case scenarios to get in is, when you offer someone that paid in full and then suddenly they go like, oh, actually, I would love to do that paid in full. That's a pretty big discount. I'd love to save that money. I'll tell you what, I get paid next Friday. How about we just put this on hold until Friday? And then they hop off the call. And typically you're going to really struggle to get them back on. So I like to just get people enrolled. And then once I hop on that actual onboarding, that's a lot of times where I'll bring up the paid in full option. Like, hey, by the way, if in the next 30 days you'd like to just take care of the program, pay it in full, this is what that looks like. And so it's a super simple conversation. They're already a paying client. Now I'm just kind of throwing a bone their way, giving them a little bit of bonus, an incentive to pay in full. But again, always looking to not create more objections. So that's just personally just tips and tricks and things that I've learned in the many sales calls that I've taken. So once we understand what to focus on, again, We want to be focused on either getting clients or signing clients. That's the two most important things. We need to be building skills and getting better at those things. Specifically inside of skill acquisition, we want to be getting better at creating offers. We want to be getting better at creating content so that we're generating leads. We want to be getting better at actual sales, at managing our time. We then have to understand you versus them conversation, understand who is the ideal client, who is the market, who is it that we're actually trying to serve. We have to understand fundamentally what is value. Why would someone actually pay me money? If you don't understand what your value is and the value you're providing, you're really going to struggle to actually show up in the market and get clients. Then we have to package this thing up at an offer. The offer, again, the program is what we deliver, but the offer is how we sell it. So the offer, some words sell more than others. So the better we can get at communicating to people, the outcome, the plan, the pricing, the better we can help people see how it is we help them, how it is we will provide value to them, the problems that we will solve, the pain points we will alleviate. The better that we can get at those things, the better our offers are going to bang. And so that's the fifth piece that we want to focus on, which leads us then into social media. All right. So now we understand you versus them in the market we're trying to serve. We understand the value that we're here to provide. We understand why someone would pay us money. We've taken all that. We've packaged it up into an offer. We need to now hit social media. All right, so social media is going to be the best way to get you to a 10K month. It's not going to be through, doing, all the different paid strategies and things that are out there. If you're trying to get to 10K, organic is going to be the best way to really get off the ground, get things rolling organically, get some actual cash flow, and then take some of that cash and you can put it into paid strategies. Maybe you get a virtual assistant. Maybe you look to build a team, some of those things down the road. But if you can't get something going, my experience has been if you can't get something going organically, typically you're really going to struggle with paid methods as well, because a lot of times it's because you don't understand all of this stuff that we've been talking about, right? And so you throw a bunch of money behind paid ads, but you don't understand why someone would actually pay you. You don't actually have a good offer. You don't understand who your target market is. So social media. Social media, there are two channels that are going to be the most powerful for you. The first one is going to be the timeline, so through creating organic content. And the second most powerful is going to be the DMs. These are going to be the two most powerful places that you can tap into to get calls, to generate leads, to get clients. It's going to be the timeline and creating content, so organic content, and DM outreach. All right. So the way that I recommend doing things is, I love it. So the way that I recommend doing things is creating content, building an audience, and then messaging and doing outbound, doing DM outreach to your audience members. So I don't recommend doing a bunch of cold outreach and going under hashtags and just messaging random people. I don't recommend just sending cold DMs to just random people that are not friends with you on Facebook or whatever. I recommend building an audience, building a following, building up a friends list, creating content for these people, and then messaging people that are already in your social media. Okay? So let's talk about social media. So where most people go wrong is they create something that kind of looks like this. All right? So this is what they do. They create a Facebook and they start posting Facebook content. And then they decide, you know what, I'm going to launch a private Facebook group. Been seeing a lot of stuff about that. And you know what, while I'm at it, why don't I just take this stuff and let's throw this over on Instagram as well. And, while I'm at that as well, we could just go ahead and put it on LinkedIn. And then I've seen a lot of stuff about email lists. So let's do some email lists as well. And then also YouTube. YouTube's a big thing. I feel like I could be on YouTube. I feel like I could crush on that. That's important. It's 2024. YouTube's big. You know what? TikTok as well. I've always wanted to do a TikTok. And you know what? While we're at it, why don't we just go ahead and let's launch a podcast as well. And so this is what ends up happening to their business. And their business gets pulled in all these different directions. They're spending all this time on all these different platforms, and nothing really ever gets traction. They're trying to be anywhere and everywhere. They're trying to do a million different things. Their attention and their efforts, right? We talked about focus. That's the very first thing we talked about. Their focus is just scattered. It's scattered everywhere. And so because it's scattered, nothing ever actually takes off. And what we want to do is we want to create intense focus in an upward trajectory. We want to find one social media that we are just going to go all in on. Possibly a second. There's a little bit of nuance to this. There are some ways to create what I would call like a primary channel and a secondary channel where you're kind of just repurposing and redistributing. There's a little bit of strategy to some of that. But the point being with this is you want to create laser focus. You want to build so much momentum and just crush in one place to where you actually start getting leads and you actually start getting calls and you actually start getting clients and sales in your business. Because again, the focus is getting to 10K. So many people, they're focused on getting to 10K followers, but not putting $10,000 in their bank, right? And that's a mistake. Followers aren't clients, likes ain't cash. We want to be focused on building a business. We want to focus on getting clients and putting money in the bank, building recurring revenue, actually building a business. And so the best way to do that is by getting focused, right? Again, that's the very first thing we talked about, focus. We have to be focused. And so when you're in all these different areas, and again, you're getting pulled in all these different directions, nothing actually works. Nothing takes off. You're spending all of this time creating all of this content. You're never actually doing any outreach. You're never actually booking in any sales calls. And the thing is, you're going to go to bed and you're going to feel tired. You're like, whew, man, I just did so much today. And you're going to be 6 months down the road and you're just like, man, like I am just grinding. I'm just like working so hard. Whew, I just did so much today. But you're going to look and it's like, but I'm not getting any clients. Right? I'm not actually booking any sales calls. And that's a problem. It's a problem. So this is a conversation of let's do less and let's do it better. So let's cross out all of this and let's just focus on doing one thing. It's having one ideal client. It's having one offer, one program rather. It's having one ideal client, one program on one social media channel for 1 year. And just putting absolute focus in one single area and absolutely crushing. So again, the two main areas that you can absolutely crush with and get to 10K months incredibly quickly is content and the DMs. Now again, the reason most people don't get to 10K as quickly as they would like is because they don't focus on these two areas. And they try to do it in all these areas. And so because they're doing a million things, they're never actually really getting anything done. So that's going to be social media. All right. Enough said on that one. So much of the foundation is up here in getting this stuff right. All right. The last piece then is going to be sales calls. The thing that a lot of people misunderstand about sales calls, the thing that a lot of people misunderstand about lead generation, the thing that they misunderstand about really offers and all of this and signing clients is what it actually truly is. Like I said, they're spending all this time doing all this social media stuff, but they're not actually getting any sales calls. And so this is a very important conversation. So let me draw out a couple things for you here. So over here on the left, we have social media. We have your audience. We have your friends. We have your followers. This is your social media. And then over here, you have your program and you have your clients. And a lot of times these feel like two very different worlds, and it's because they are, right? It's like you have all of these friends and all of these followers, or rather over here, right? You have all these friends and all these followers over here sitting on your social media, and then you have over here, you have a few clients and you have these people that you're serving. It's like, dude, like how do I get these people off my social media? I'm spending all this time creating content. How do I actually get people into the program? How do I do this consistently? And this is a big, big problem that I see people having time and time again. They just can't get people off their social media. I talked with a girl one time who had 220,000 followers, and she was struggling to make $2,000 a month. She had all the followers in the world, but she just didn't have anybody inside of her program. That's an issue. It shouldn't be that way. So fundamentally, what you are here to do is you're here to create content. Again, we're not just trying to go viral for the sake of going viral. We're not here just to build 220,000 followers to have 220,000 followers. We're here to understand who is the ideal client, what is the value that we can provide to the world, what is this actual offer we're going to create, and creating relevant content on our social media for those types of people. We're here to attract paying clients. We're here to attract ideal clients. We're not here just to go viral. We're not here just to gain followers. We are here to gain the right followers, right? So it's not that followers are bad. It's not that likes are bad. It's not that engagement is bad. It's like we want those things, right? But we want it to be with the right people. We want the right people joining our program. We want the right people following us. We want the right people consuming our content. So that's the first piece over here, is it needs to be the right people. People that are actually a good fit for the program. Because we have this program and we understand that it's here to specifically solve problems for our ideal client. Again, I've got a client that, he's an engineer, and so he helps a lot of white collar guys, in the office. He has a program that is incredibly good at helping guys in the office lose weight. And he has very niche understandings of luncheons and people, other companies coming in with presentations and catering meals. These are just things that if you've never worked in an office, you would never understand that there are all the time all these lunch meetings and meals that are getting catered in, and you would never understand, the navigating the lunchroom and the donuts and things that are brought in. You just would not understand these things if you didn't live the life. And so because he's been able to create this banging program that solves their problems. It's super valuable. And so his offer just pops, right? So it's not about getting a ton of followers. It's not about needing a bunch of followers. Again, not that that's bad. It's about getting the right followers, because we have a program that's for a very specific ideal client. And so what we're doing on social media every single day, and what we're doing when we're booking sales calls, is we're going on social media and we're hitting the DMs, and we're basically saying, hey, I understand that you have this problem, and I just want to let you know that I have this solution. Is that something that you might be interested in? Is that a problem that you would like some help with? This is the purpose of social media for a business owner. It's bridging this gap and helping your friends and your followers understand that, hey, this is your problem and I totally understand that and I have this solution. Is that something that you would like to chat about? And for the people that say yes, we book them in for sales calls. And then when we get on these sales calls, we're making the offer to them and we're helping them see how, hey, this is who you are. These are the problems that you have. We're properly diagnosing them, just like a coaching call, where we're getting on there and what's the problem? How's it impacting you? What have you tried? What's not worked? Where are we ultimately trying to go? Right? Value. Where are you at versus where you want to be? And then we're just showing them the offer. We're saying, cool. So because this is where you're at and these are your goals, this is the program that I have built for you. And this is the kind of results you can expect to get from it. First, we're going to do this, then we're going to do this, and then we're going to do this. And this is what pricing looks like. Is that something you'd like to move forward with? That's how we get clients. It's not any more complicated. It's no more complicated, no less complicated than that. And so this is what we're doing on social media. So many people have this backwards. They're spending all this time in all these different places trying to build this following, trying to be this influencer, trying to gain all the likes and all the comments, and they're trying to go viral, and that's the thing they're placing value on. But the value and where you should be placing your focus and what you should actually be doing and trying to do every single day is helping your ideal client better understand the problems that you solve, the value that you provide, the solutions that you have, and how it is that you can actually help them. And that's how we book in sales calls. A lot of times we book them in the DMs. Sometimes we book them in through content. But that's what we're doing on social media every single day. We're helping bridge this gap. We're helping get people off social media and into our program Again, by showing them that we understand the problems and that we also have a solution for them. And so sales calls, it's the last and final piece of what we need to be focused on to get to 10K months. And so the last and final piece, there's not really a bullet point for this, but the last and final piece that I want to say with this is the way that success works. Whether it's fitness, whether it's business, it doesn't matter what it is. This is success, and this is time. And at first, you're going to be taking action, and you're going to be showing up, and you're going to be posting content, you're going to be sending DMs, you're going to be booking in these sales calls, you're going to be talking to people, like you're going to be grinding. And you're going to be putting in the time, and you're going to be putting in the effort, and nothing's going to be happening. Nothing's going to be happening. And you're working, and you're working, and you're working, and you're just not seeing anything. And then you're going to get a first couple sales. And you're going to start to experience a little bit of success. And then you're 6 months into it, and your social media is starting to pop, and you're starting to book in 3 to 5 sales calls every single week. Things are taking off, and things are taking off. And over time, success compounds. And it's going to look something like this. And so where most people get this piece wrong is they start to do a little bit of work. And they go, man, this is hard. This is difficult. I'm putting in all this work. I'm putting in all this effort. I'm putting in all this time, but I'm not getting the result. I'm not getting success. I'm not at 10K months. I've been doing this for 30 days. Why do I not have 10K, right? Been doing this for 3 months. Why am I not a millionaire yet? Success takes time, right? Success loves speed. It's back here on my wall. Success also loves time, right? Success is something that compounds. It's just like fitness. You know, the clients that you struggle to get results for are the ones who come in and they expect insane results in 30 days. Or they get 2 months in and they're just like, why have I not lost 45 pounds? The people who see results do the work, and they do the work consistently, and they do it for a long enough time to actually experience the kind of success that they want to see. And even when they reach a certain level and they're making 10K, they understand that the things that got them there is also a continuation of that and doing more, most likely in a different way, different strategies. But they understand that these are the things that got me here, and I have to keep doing them. Right? So point being is like, you don't work out for 3 years and then have this amazing physique and then just go, cool, I just never have to work out again. It's like, no, it's gonna stop and it's gonna go backwards. Right? So you have to put in work, and you have to keep putting in work, and you continue putting in work, and you just never stop. Which is why this conversation, bullet point number 3, which is where we really first started digging into the whole, okay, cool, we've got the mindset right, we got the focus right, we're spending our time right. The first piece of like actually building your business and getting your offer and figuring out what it is you're doing, like this is one of the more important pieces to get right from the start. Because so many people, it's like they get a year into doing something or 2 years into doing something, if they even make it that far. Fact is, most people, they can't even do something consistently for 90 days. Most people can't even go a whole day without looking at their phone, right? Myself included, right? So most people can't do things consistently. And so it's super important to, from the foundation, actually build a business that you're going to be excited about. Actually build a program you're going to be excited about. Which is why I said, like, when I in the past, like, built businesses that were just purely psychologically driven based on, well, here's an ideal client and their problems aren't being solved and this is how I could help them and this is what they need. And it wasn't necessarily what I was interested in. It wasn't necessarily what I was passionate about. Eventually, I just kind of burnt out. It just sucked. It just sucked because I wasn't doing it because it was something that actually interested me. It wasn't something that actually drove me. So that's why it's important to build something that you're going to be excited about. Understand that success is going to come over time. It's something that compounds, right? We see this in the financial world. The financial world is one of the best ways to see this, right? When you look at Warren Buffett, Most of his money has came here in his later years of life. If you look at his, if you actually like Google it and like look it up right now, and you look at a chart of like his net worth over time, it wasn't until he was like in his 50s or 60s that this kind of effect set in. Now he was like rich his whole life, but like things really took off. Like he made his first billion like when he was like 50 or 60, right? He wasn't like 20 years old with $1 billion, but he just consistently invested. He consistently put away money. He consistently put money into the market. In over 60 years, he just did the same simple thing for 60 years and he got that result. Fitness in your physique is very much similar. You put in the work over time, you reach your genetic potential. And so that's the last piece I want to talk about here. The biggest thing that keeps people from 10K months, they do a little bit of work, they don't see results, and so they quit. And this is what it looks like. They start to take off, they're not at 10K yet, so they quit, and they go start a drop shipping store. And they start to take off, and then they go, like maybe I'll get back into fitness. And things fall off. And then they go, well, maybe I'll start this other business. I'll start this agency. They do it for a little bit, doesn't work, they give up. Well, maybe I'll go like start this restaurant or I'll do this, right? And so they just keep jumping from thing to thing to thing to thing. And they never actually give something enough time for it to take off. So the real kind of punchline to this entire training is that all of this stuff is important. You have to, you want to get all this stuff in place. But none of this stuff will work if you don't actually give it enough time and enough effort to allow it to actually take off and see results. And so that's the number one thing that actually holds people back from getting to 10K is they just quit before they get there, right? They just don't give it enough time to actually get there. And so if you're willing to stick something out, if you can find something you're passionate about, if you can find something that will get you excited, if you plug into all this stuff, you build your skills, you stay focused, you provide value, you create a good offer, you show up, you crush your social media, you're constantly, consistently booking in calls and taking calls, you will absolutely get to 10K months. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end this one here. If this is something, I know this is a longer one, but if this is something that you're seeing this, you're like, hey, this is awesome, this is great, and you would actually like some help in building a 10K business for you and yourself, and you would like my personal help with it, go ahead and shoot me a DM and let me know that you watched this video, and would love to chat with you and just see if what I'm doing over here could possibly be a good fit for you. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end this one here. Hopefully you found a ton of value with this. If so, share it with a friend, drop a comment below, all that kind of stuff. See you guys in the next one.